All right, good evening, everyone. I'll call this board meeting the session. First, I wanted to say that we're coming out of the executive session for legal and personnel matters. Secretary, can you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Can you please call the roll?
Diana Knapp. Here. Dan Chubb.
Here.
Brian Davis.
Here.
Jennifer Bullhan here. Ruth Griffey.
Here.
Mary Kemper.
Here.
Chad Mallory.
Here.
Matt Nelson.
Here.
Neil Tate.
Here. Still online.
He is here.
He is here through remote connection.
Correct.
Okay. Lee Dalton.
Here.
Dr. Brad Sterner.
Here.
Dr. Shannon Myers.
Here.
Justin Peart.
Here.
Okay. Everybody, thank you everybody for coming to the meeting tonight.
All right, next we have a public comment. If there's any public comment, just keep it to 5 minutes. It doesn't look like there's any public comment. There was public comment, we probably, for 5 minutes, and then you would also sign the yellow clipboard there, so. All right, moving on, next. Agenda item is discussion. Is there any items up for discussion prior to moving into approval of the minutes? I don't think there is, correct? No. All right. Approval of minutes. First voting item is the letter A under item number 8, and this last meeting's minutes.
Motion to approve A. Second.
We have a first and a second. If there's any further discussion on the approval of minutes? All right, with no further discussion, this is a roll call vote. All those in attendance will be recorded in favor of the motion, unless I hear a nay or abstain. All right, motion carries. Next is financial reports. We have A through E.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a first and a second. Any further discussion on financial reports? Those are bills payable, general fund, cafeteria fund, capital reserve, and scholarship fund. There's no further discussion. This is a roll call vote. All those in attendance will record in favor of the motion, unless I hear a nay or abstain. All right, motion carries. Next item is 10, correspondence. That's addressed later in the agenda. 11 is reports and related action. And we'll start with the solicitor's report.
Nothing to report.
Thank you very much. Next, superintendent.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody out there. Thank you for joining us tonight. I have a couple things. Since the last time we met, we had that thing called school started. So there's been a lot of activity going on around our campus. We had a great kickoff to the school year. We welcomed all our teachers and our staff back on the first day. It was awesome. We all got together in the cafeteria. We had breakfast together. We broke bread together. We had a great time in the cafeteria. And they got plants because they're succulent that they all received, which I hope is all alive. Am I getting caught? Amanda.
Day.
So the theme this year is new beginnings, stronger foundations, and that goes along with me being new here. And we have a lot of new faces out there. And what I talked about in my opening message was when we say new beginnings or stronger foundations, it does not mean that we're uprooting what we're currently doing. It just means that we might be enhancing what's in place, respecting our history, but also being open to change and open to new ideas. So one of the things that our staff and received from me was a succulent. And that was representing just like our students. Some succulents, as you know, they need a lot of attention. Some don't need a ton of attention, but they all need attention in some way or another. So they are all tasked with this plant. And I mean, there was no stress, but the goal is to keep it alive this year. Shannon and I are doing spot checks. And it is funny as we go in classrooms, we often don't get high, we get a plant. And it's like proof of life. Some people went
Or if
to.
we don't see it, we will get a message or an email with a
did.
picture of the plant.
Yeah, so that was good. Some teachers went real extreme and they repotted
No
them and
pressure.
replanted them and like, so, I think we're doing well and I see some smiles out there. So we did, like I said, we did have a great kickoff. One of the things that Dr. Myers and I were able to do, we were able to go into our kindergarten classrooms. I did send you guys some pictures and we were the special readers and we dressed up like crayons with our students and we read a great book with them. It was great to welcome them to Bermudian Springs, but it was also an opportunity for us to get into the classrooms, but for them to get to know who we are. And if you've ever tried to explain what a superintendent and an assistant superintendent does to like a 5, 6-year-old, it's fun. But it was great. We had such an amazing time doing that, and we're going to continue doing that throughout the school year. But we really did have a blast in welcoming our smallest eagles into our nest.
But we were also so engaging that we got invited.
Yeah, tell them. That's great. Yeah, that's great. You jump in. That was good. I forgot about that.
So we also hand deliver birthday cards and we had a birthday on, was that Thursday or
It was
Thursday or Friday of last week. And it happened to be an 8th grade classroom and we were still dressed up and still had our rubber bands and our book. And the 8th graders invited us to stay and read a story. And they were the most engaged audience
They-
I think I've had in a long time. So it was a lot of fun.
It was, and they were serious. Like they really wanted us to.
And
I-
really enjoyed their bracelets.
They did. They even got bracelets. So we got
Kids will be
crayon
kids.
bracelets. That's true. And then just to round out my report, again, with me not having the ability to start the school year last year, coming in and, when I did in January, what I did have the opportunity to do is I was able to meet with all the high school classes during their class meetings and was able to talk to all of them. So I met with the freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors, just so they knew who I was. I set some pretty simple expectations for them, and that was to be respectful. We had a great, and you've seen it. I said, if I address you, I expect you to respond to me. Like if I say good morning, I'd like to hear it back. If I ask you how your day is, I'd like you to respond, not look at my feet. And as a true high school student would do, they're holding up their end of the bargain and making sure they go out of their way to say hi to me and make sure they're giving me eye contact. And but it's been a lot of fun. But really, the whole purpose of that is getting to know everybody and making sure that they feel like they're part of our community and that they're recognized. So we've had an excellent start. I know this is going to be a great school year. Working with this, I'm not going to steal your thunder, but this group right here during induction, I am so looking forward to this year. That's all my report.
It's great. Thank you. Next, Dr. Marks.
Yes, just a couple of quick things before our presentation for the evening. But as Dr. Sterner shared, kind of that welcoming back to school, I have to give a huge kind of shout out, thank you to Dr. Wales, our Director of Curriculum, our content leads and our building administrators, and I know our instructional specialists who played a huge pivotal role in those first couple of days in planning and preparing back to school professional development curriculum. Did get a little feedback that it was a little overwhelming, but there's a lot of work to do. And so it's that to me is an indication that we're doing the work and the time is never right. But the reality is that that time was used effectively for the purposes that it needed to be used for. So just a huge thank you to those individuals who kind of planned and prepared and made sure that those days were organized and ready to go. And just a little, as far as I'm concerned, I know that my last report I shared that I had just finished writing the Fed program applications for this school year and now currently closing out last school year. So we had time to spend out and wait for a few receipts to come in. And so actually have 2 of the 3 right now completely closed out and just need to make a revision on the last one. This year, it just needs some help, and this is kind of a public forum, and we'll continue to share out. We transitioned to online emergency cards through Sapphire. Parents were prompted at the beginning of the school year as they're updating demographics to also complete the online emergency card. It's new, and so getting the percentage rate back that we really want to get to feel comfortable with has been a bit of a challenge, especially with the online component, but really need to shift in that direction. So continuing to send out notifications and contact families, but certainly any avenue we can utilize to stress the importance of that information and how critical it is for us to have access to it in the event of an emergency is huge. So navigating through that, and we'll hopefully have reached out to all families who have not turned that information in by the end of next week. Last thing that I just wanted, I know that I had received kind of your blessing last school year to utilize a committee of individuals to pursue new picture companies and moving away from our former picture company who had been here for many, many years, but we had run into many, many challenges. Was a little daunting and can be scary, but I am happy to report we got nothing but positive feedback for our staff photo, badge photos at the beginning of the school year, how quick, how smooth that process went as opposed to the last few years that we've had that. So that is very promising to me. We are getting ready to start school pictures. And so I'm hopeful that we'll continue to see a trend in positive feedback with that new company. I think that's it. As far as the report is concerned.
The next is presentations.
So this evening, I have the distinct pleasure of, we're unique in that we do this presentation in September. And so any of our mid-year hires are invited to this evening as well, because we think it's important for our new hires and our board members to be able to put a face to a name and recognize the contributions that you make to the district. And so we are incredibly thrilled that you chose us and excited to have you here as part of the Berm family. And this is just one way for us to express that, but also give you an opportunity to introduce yourselves. We're going to ask each individual, is the mic turned on? Yep. We're just going to ask you and we'll start, I'll make it easy and I'll decide for you. We'll start with the high school and then work our way down to middle school and elementary school. And it simply, no pressure, but simply just your name, your grade level or position that you're fulfilling. And then I think what brought you to us. And so just a quick little why Berm, give us that quick little elevator speech elevator speech to kind of help us understand why you want to be part of the Berm family. But again, just want to thank you and give you this opportunity to also introduce yourself to our school board. So maybe can we start with Tim? Do you mind if I put you on the spot?
It's not gonna say
You
that.
did.
I know, I did.
Still, all right.
Oh, my name's Tim Walk. I started in February. I'm high school, all things instrumental band, and then fourth grade band as well. How far into this do you want me to go?
Just a few minutes. Just why Berm?
Why Berm? So I was looking at a couple different places. We came from Potter County. If you don't know where it is, it's up here. And they get all like the lake effect snow. And we were like, I want to go somewhere that doesn't have so much of that. And like, I know it's a rural setting here, but like, we drove an hour and a half to get to Walmart. Okay. So that was grocery shopping. This is amazing. It's like a metropolis. I love it. So I was like the first thing I wanted like a music program where it felt really supported. And when we came down here and we did our interviews and we got to walk around, I saw a lot of engagement and talking with I knew some of the other music teachers, so I got to chat with them, get the lowdown. I was like, this sounds great. So we'll focus on this one. So here we are. And so far so good. I love it. So
Thank you.
Yep.
and
Yeah.
welcome.
short and sweet.
John, I think you're next.
Morning, everybody.
Right.
I'm John George. I teach physics and scientific technology to juniors and seniors at the high school. I was hired on at the end of September last year, so just after this, I wasn't able to make it to that first meeting, which is a shame. The reason I chose Bermudian Springs, like Tim, I'd been looking at several different schools around the state. I'd applied to places like Reading School District, Haven Grove, which is about an hour from here. But I decided on this place because it reminded me a lot of the school I grew up in. You know, it's smaller class sizes, a little bit more of a rural environment. And it kind of felt like home when I came here. Just like, man, this looks exactly like my building. Yeah, from back home. So I'm happy to be here. I'm hope to be here for another 27, 30 years.
Yeah.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
That is middle school. I think now we're middle school. Maggie, you want to go?
Hello, I'm Meg Walk. I'm the other half of the Walk duo. And I am blessed to teach seventh grade special ed. And like Tim said, we were looking for a place that was a little bit more urban. And I know it's so funny. And we went to college with Shana Danielson, the middle school band director. And she was really selling us, like she was, and she did not lie. The administration's great. She's like, you will love the seventh grade team. 100%, I do. She's like, you will love the kids. I love kids everywhere, so that's a given. But she really sold us on it, and she wasn't wrong. And we have a seventh grader and a second grader, and they are doing so well here. And it's so nice to see like supportive teachers. Our youngest gets extension activities. Our oldest, the teachers here have brought her out of her shell, and she's not so shy and like withdrawn. She's succeeding and she's loving math, which is new. Thank you, Mrs. Nelson. So we are very, very happy to be here. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anna?
Hello, my name is Emma Pickano. I teach health and physical education here at the middle school, and I also teach health down at the elementary school. What brought me to Burm is coming out of college. It was a little intimidating trying to look for and find a job, and my one friend's dad referred me here, and Bermudian was just so welcoming and open and felt like a family to me, and that was great coming right out of college, finding a school district that just felt comfortable and I fit right in as soon as I got here. So that's what I was looking for, and that's what really drew me here. I grew up in Dover School District, so I was familiar with Bermudian. I played sports against them, and I just remembered playing sports how friendly the athletes were and the coaches, and I just thought I would love it here. So that's why I was drawn. Thank you.
Thank you.
The middle school, right? I'm just gonna go down the line here, Raylan. Oh, nope, we got Sonia.
Hey, good name, Miss.
Hi, I'm Sonia Austin, and I am a learning support teacher at the elementary school. We came here from Salt Lake City. My husband's career in the military brought us this way. And so that's why we came here. Why I chose Bermudian, I was looking for a place where I was needed, wanted, and appreciated. I was needed because there's a job posting. So I was like, yeah, they need me. And when they called me after the interview and said, we'd like to offer you, I was wanted. And that feels good. But most importantly to me is where I'm appreciated. And the interview team made me feel appreciated from the very first time I met them in the interview process, which thankfully was online because we were still in school in Salt Lake. So they allowed me to do a video conference for my interview, and I appreciated that. And just the openness and just the feeling of the team, the admin team, made me feel like this was a place that I'd be appreciated, and I continue to feel that way. And so I'm glad that I chose them and they chose me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's going around the table there.
Good evening. I'm Casey Beachy. I was hired in February with the last name of Andrus. I came to Bermudian. This is my husband's alma mater, and this is also where my father-in-law teaches. So I've heard nothing but wonderful things, and I was excited for the job change. I'm one of the learning support teachers at the elementary school. And I was just excited for the close-knit community and to hopefully settle and one day have a family within the district.
Thank you.
Awesome. And
Hi, I'm Amanda Wolf. I'm the autistic support teacher at the elementary school. I actually started the beginning of last school year, but got officially hired in January. I have a 7th and 8th grader that attend Bermudian, and I started volunteering here when my 8th grader was in kindergarten. Loved all the teachers, volunteered again when my 7th grader was in kindergarten, and then started day-to-day subbing. Eventually got the building sub job in 2021 and have worked with all the different teams in the school, like at the elementary school, loved all the teams. Everybody was very supportive. I love all the teachers, all admin, like I love everything about Bermudian. So I was thrilled to get this position, and I'm working towards my special ed degree.
Thank you.
Hi, I am Sarah Renee. I grew up at a neighboring school district, Northern School District. After high school, I went to Westchester University. I went for early childhood education. Then I moved back home. I started here last year as a first grade long-term sub for Erica Smith. In November, I got hired for fourth grade ELA and social studies. I really enjoyed my interview process here compared to a lot of neighboring school districts. It was just very different, very personal. Everyone kind of wanted to know about me first, which was very different from getting all the education questions. They first kind of asked who I was and then got into that side of things. I've loved every minute here. All of the professionals here are just so welcoming. I love how everyone knows each other. Everyone checks in on each other, and I'm just really happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
He was a former student of mine.
Yeah, no.
We're really sorry.
Good answer. Good answer.
Hi, everyone. My name is Raylan Predix. I'm teaching third grade math and science, which I never pictured myself doing. I'm more of a reader, and ELA was my favorite subject in school, but I'm loving it so far. My short anecdote, hopefully I don't go on too long. I prayed really hard for this position. I was originally a teacher's assistant at Vita Charter School in Gettysburg, and I was in third grade. And that's when I started all of my classes to become a teacher in grad school. And I remember saying to my boyfriend, like, third grade is where it's at. This is where I want to spend my time. And I taught last year at Hoffman Homes, except for I was second through sixth grade, and I only had one third grader all year, and it broke my heart. So when I applied to BIRM and I was offered the position in third grade, I knew that it was where I was thinking. And I will second everything that Sarah said. The interview process was phenomenal. And I definitely felt like the principals and even the third grade team, when they interviewed us, they cared about who we were as people before necessarily who we were as professionals, which was a close second, but I feel cared about and loved in the community that I'm in. So I'm very excited. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Amber Schaefer. I'm also teaching third grade math and science at the elementary school. The interview process, that first interview was crazy. It was a speed dating interview. So there was everybody there, but it was actually the most memorable interview of all of the interviews I went on, and I went on many. And the thing about it is actually what made me choose BIRM was because even though it was a speed dating interview, every single member from the third grade team was there. And all of the other interviews that I went on, it was just admin. So that told me, like, okay, BIRM really cares about the team dynamic. They're not going to just let admin pick, this is the best candidate, and everyone else is going to have to deal with it. So that's when I really knew they care about the community, they care about the team dynamic and who's going to gel well. And then I knew that that's where I was going to fit in best. So.
Well, welcome everyone. Again, I think just a thank you for choosing us. We know that there are options out there, but we hope that you continue to feel supported and that this continues to feel like home, because certainly that's what we want long term. We don't have a super long agenda this evening. We do have some cupcakes just to celebrate you, and then an opportunity just to kind of meet and greet with some of our board members if you're able to stay. Certainly, if you are not able to, that's fine as well.
Thanks, everyone, for picking BIRM.
Yep, thank you very much. All right, moving on to the next agenda item, 12, old business. We have none. Moving on to the next item, new business. All right, we'll start off with A, personnel. We have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different items under personnel. So we'll start with A1, and I guess 1 and 2 have to be voted on separate, correct? Or can they be together? I think normally we
You
break
can
them.
take all of them together. You don't really technically need to vote on a
Okay.
resignation, but otherwise you can
Okay,
take them all together.
we'll take
Yeah.
items A1 and 2 together. A1 is resignations, and 2 is the revised contracts for 2 individuals for the 25-26 school year.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any further discussion? All right. This is a roll call vote. All those in attendance will report in favor of the motion, unless I hear a nay or abstain. Motion carries. Next is A3. Administration is requesting approval for the following to be employed as support staff. And there's two individuals. So there's A and B.
Motion to approve 3A and B. Second.
We have a first and a second. Any further discussion on 3A and B? All right, so no further discussion. This is a roll call vote. All those in attendance will be recorded in favor of the motion unless I hear a nay or an abstain. Motion carries. Number 4. Administration is requesting approval for to rescind a junior high school assistant girls volleyball coach contract.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Is there any further discussion? All right, with no further discussion, this is a roll call vote. All those in attendance will be recorded in favor of the motion. Let's say here a nay or abstain. Motion carries. Number 5, administration is requesting approval for the following extracurricular contracts. And there's 3 of them, A, B, and C.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a first and second for 5, A, B, and C. Is there any further discussion? All right, without further discussion, this is a roll call vote. All those in attendance recorded in favor of the motion, unless they hear a nay or abstain. Motion carries. Number 6, administration is requesting approval for the following to be employed for district athlete game help for the 25-26 school year. And there's A, B, and C.
Motion to approve 6A, B, and C. Second.
We have a first and a second. Any further discussion? All right, if there's no further discussion, this is a roll call vote. All those in attendance report in favor of the motion, unless I hear a nay or abstain. Motion carries. Number 7, administration's requesting approval for the following volunteer coaches for the 25-26 season. That's A through D.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a first and a second for number 7, A through D. Any further discussion? All right, without further discussion, this is a roll call vote. All those in attendance report in favor of the motion, unless I hear a nay or abstain. Motion carries. All right, moving on to letter B. Bus and van driver approval. This is for 2 personnel to be employed by E&B Transportation for the 25-26 school year.
Motion to approve B.
We have 2. We have Diane and Chad. All right, we have a first and second for letter B. Any further discussion? All right, without further discussion, this is a roll call vote. All those in attendance record in favor of the motion. Unless I hear a nay, abstain. Motion carries. Letter C, Sunday activity approval. And this is to go into a register our girls wrestling team for Sunday tournaments if needed. It creates competition opportunities for the 25-26 school year.
Motion to approve C. Second.
We have a first and a second. Any further discussion? All right, this is a roll call vote. All those in attendance be recorded in favor of the motion, unless they hear a nay or abstain. Motion carries. Letter D, high school activity accounts. This is for the approval of the Bermuda High School, Virgin Springs High School news account to be established within the high school student activity fund.
Motion to approve D. Second.
We have first and a second. Any further discussion? All right, this is a roll call vote. All those in attendance record in favor of the motion, unless I hear a nay or abstain. Motion carries. Letter E. We have an MOU. It's requesting approval for the district and the Big Brothers Big Sisters of South Central PA to initiate evidence-based one-on-one mentorship relationships within the district 2025-26 school year.
Motion to approve E.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Is there any further discussion?
Just had a quick question.
Go ahead.
What's the history behind this? How did this come to be?
So the Big Brothers and Big Sister Foundation, which is not new, obviously, they did reach out to Dr. Myers and I and wanted to see if there was the possibility of partnering within our district. There's two pieces to the foundation. Like one is you can work internally or you can work with children to work outside of the school district. The goal with them was to train students at the high school that are interested to be mentors for our own students here within the district. So it's kind of like a big brother, big sister. And the middle school is very interested in it too, because there's a lot of students at the middle school level that would benefit in having a mentor of our own. It's a great opportunity for our high school students too, for college. If, you know, they're going into education, it gives them a great opportunity to put that on their applications. But overall, it's just a great opportunity to build our students. So Big Brothers and Big Sisters also talk to our high school students, like during those class meetings, specifically with our seniors. It was the seniors that they met with. To just kind of talk to them about the program, that that was something we were going to offer so they understood.
Thank you.
All right, any other further discussion? And we have the motions, right?
Yes.
Okay. If there's no further discussion, this is a roll call vote. All those in attendance report in favor of the motion, unless I hear a nay or an abstain. Motion carries. Letter F, first read for new and revised board policies. So this is coming from the committee. It's requesting for the board to adopt as a first read. And it's for there's 10 of them. Yep, there's 10 of them, the policy 000 through 011.
Motion to approve F 1 through 10.
Second.
We have first and a second. Is there any further discussion?
Yes, I just have one quick thing. For policy 005 under organization, it talks about for committees that our term is 1 year. We are currently set up to be through the course of our term versus 1 year, instead of reorging every year at the.
Isn't it from December, like for sake of our January to December to the next reorg? That's normally what it is, like or whether it's December to the next November. It's normally a year. Do you know what I mean?
Is there anything in law that says it has to be a year?
There's nothing in law about committees and like who's appointed to be on it.
So we originally did this. We thought about doing it as the term of the board member.
Correct, like you
So-
do from December reorg to November. I mean, that's still a year term. It's just not on a calendar year.
We actually want to change it from a year to read the duration
Of
of
their,
the boards.
Of the boards, of the
yeah.
board members'
Correct.
term.
So for
And-
example,
yeah.
you know.
Oh, you mean
their
like
budget,
one-year term.
as
So
long
it's
as they are
continuity.
here, that would be their.
Yeah, you can make that. There's nothing in law, so you could change that to be more specific in terms of.
Instead of reorgan every year, if someone comes on as a committee member, they'd be locked in for the term of their seat on the board. That's what we're trying to say, right?
Yeah.
Unless for some reason they wanted to
Move.
or they needed to resign or something came up.
So we can check that.
I think the only thing I would suggest is that there'd be sort of like a reminder at the beginning of each year as to something on the agenda specifically as to who's on those committees, because that's a part of what reorg is, to reestablish committee membership. So even if 005 says it's for the duration of the board member's term, probably should just have it like listed on the agenda specific, you know what I mean, specifically to address on an annual basis. But otherwise, I think that's.
Okay.
That works.
Awesome.
We'll do that since it's still in draft form for the voting
And it's a
session.
minor edit. It's not a major.
Yep.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
Any other question? I guess I would ask you, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I guess that's where I am right now. Is there any one of these that you would want to highlight that something significant? I mean, I know I sit on the committee with you,
Yeah.
and I can't think of anything really significant. I'm assuming you all read the policies. If you haven't, that's okay. You have a chance to read up on them again, because it's the first read and everything like that, but I don't know if there's anything.
No, I mean, the way that we're working through, I can just remind everybody, as far as the board goes, is we finished up, when I came into the superintendent's office, we finished up the 300s, because that was work that was already being worked on Dr. Myers is working on some of it. Dr. Hotchkiss before that was working on it. So we finished the 300s, and what we had talked about is we really should go through it sequentially. So that's why we went back to the beginning to the zeros, and they're short. There's only 10 of them, which is really the way the board functions, and that's what covers that. So now after this, we'll move on to the hundreds and 200s, which there are a lot more, and it's going to take a lot more time to get through those. But as far as this goes, one of the things that just stood out in the zeros that there's two new policies, but the one was 006.1. And that is a new policy for boards, and that is the way we conduct ourselves electronically, using electronic communication, whether it's a board member that's online via Zoom or they're on a phone call. So that is something that is different, but I am happy to say that we are practicing that now. There's nothing that is in that policy that we're not doing. But it just, again, it's in policy now, especially with all of the virtual meetings that have been taking place over the years.
All right, good, thank you. All right, we have a first and a second. Is there any further discussion? Forever hold your peace until next reading. All right, there's no further discussion. There's a roll call vote. All those in attendance report in favor of the motion, unless I hear a nay or abstain. All right, motion carries. And the last item is G. It's retiring of a board policy. And this was policy number 008, which was the org chart.
Move to approve G.
Second.
We have first and a second. Any further discussion?
Yes, I have a quick question on this.
Sure.
What is the thought behind taking down the organization chart?
Yeah. The reason why PSBA is recommending that that is retired is because it's not doing away with the organizational chart, because we have that. The reason why they're not recommending it be part of policy is because it changes too much. And every time the org chart would change, you'd be updating the policy. And their recommendation is that the org chart is an internal document that we use and we keep updated as far as the way we function as a school district. And they just felt at this point it is no longer pertinent to be in a policy.
So one other quick question, when parents want to address concerns that they may have, they know to start with the teacher to work their way up that way. What would be their resource and where could they find it for?
Policy. There's I forget what there's a public complaints policy 906.
Okay.
And it tells them like, please go to your teacher first, and then if not the teacher, to the building administrator, if not the building administrator, to, and it goes up the chain that way.
Okay, I just want to make sure there was something.
And as a leadership team, we talk about that and we go through trainings to help parents navigate that. Like if they skip a rung,
Some
or
steps.
we just ask them questions. And Dr. Myers and I do that a lot. When people call us, the first thing we ask is, have you talked to the building principal? And then have you talked to the teacher? We always engage in the conversations, but we just want to make sure that they are talking to the right people on the way if they're not sure.
Thank you.
Any further discussions or questions on the org chart? All right. If there's not, this is a roll call vote. All those in attendance report in favor of the motion, unless I hear a nay or abstain. All right, motion carries. That brings us to other business. Is there any other business to be brought before the board? At 7:43.
Well, I have business. I'm resigning from the curriculum committee.
Okay.
Okay.
This is your official notice?
This will be my
Okay.
official notice, yeah.
All right, thank you. With that being said, we'll just go through the same process as we've done before. If anyone's interested, just send me an email and say, hey, I'm interested, and we'll just appoint next meeting. If we don't get anyone, we get to use my favorite military term, we'll volunteer someone. So we'll voluntold them that they'll be doing it. So thank you, Ruth, for that. Any other business? I know you had something you wanted to bring up. Anyone else before Dr. Sternick goes? Nope. Okay.
First of all, Ruth, thank you so much for your diligence in that committee. We know you did a lot of work there, so we do greatly appreciate that.
Thank you.
And your feedback. What I did want to just kind of go off of, and just to give kudos, I should say, is Dr. Myers talked about, wrapping up federal programs. As a formal federal programs coordinator, unless you've done it, you don't get it. It's a lot. And it doesn't matter the size of your district. It's a lot. There's so many things that she has to do through compliance. There's so many reports that she has to do. But this year really proved the challenge that I wanted to recognize both her and Justin for navigating this. This was unprecedented where we had a president freeze funds. And that was scary because our funds go directly to salaries, to teachers. That's how we use a majority of our title funds. But I can tell you again, because we have such a dynamic team between the two of them, they assured me not to worry about anything. Because that was the first thing I went to both of them. I'm like, are we in trouble? I'm like, do we need to be worried? And they both reassured me, like, we got this. The two of them communicated constantly. Any information I got from federal programs, we definitely talked about. But because Justin does such a great job at making sure we're okay, when it comes to financial health, we were able to move for a while if that was going to be the case, where as you watch the news, some districts did not have that ability and were very scared and had to file, I forget the exact word for what they had to file for requesting money. But our team, the two of them did an exceptional job, and it's always behind the scenes and we don't realize that. But I did really just want to give them a shout out because at no time was I concerned like some of my peers out there were concerned. And it's just because of all the work she does with federal programs and all the work that he does to ensure that we are fiscally healthy in case of an emergency like that. And it all worked out. Funds were then filtered to us. That was a big celebration. But I just wanted to just take that time because I don't think we realize sometimes what happens behind the scenes with federal programs. Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate that. All right. Any other items we brought before the board before we conclude? Matt? Dan? Mary? Dan? Brian?
Nothing to add.
I want to ask Justin. All right. That being said, we are adjourned. Thank you. And